All right, the first one, I actually had quite a few of you miss number 1, and I wasn't 100% sure why. The only thing I could think, if you don't put that base number in parentheses in your calculator, it will give you a different answer. Okay? So be careful with that. So it says, what are the first 4 terms? So you would plug in 1 to get the first term. So -3 to the first power, tab out plus 10. So the first term was 7. So I could mark out A. How would I get my second term? Plug 2 in for N. So I'm just going to hit second enter so I don't have to go do that again and change my exponent to a 2. And my second number was 19. Now, those of you who missed it, I think y'all put D. And the reason is you didn't put the -3 in parentheses, I think. Let me see.
Wouldn't B be the closest one to C?
See? If you don't put the -3 in parentheses, it tells you the second term is 1. So that's why some people picked D. All right, number 2, if you missed that one, then you're really just not paying attention. It is a positive correlation because it's going up. Like I literally had people miss that. So then I didn't feel too bad. Number 3 said which formula, are y'all listening? Which formula can be used to find the nth term in the sequence below? Well, I looked at all the answer choices, and this formula was what type of formula? Yes. Also, couldn't you just type these in your calculator to see which one worked out? That's what I did. So the answer was A. Like, y'all see what I'm saying? To type that in your calculator and sub 1 in, and that would tell you the first term. So you would just see which one matches. All right, number 4, the line of best fit. Now, if they already draw the line for you, can't you just do slope and y-intercept? Yes or no? Do you need to go put all those in your calculator? No. Savannah, you paying attention? Okay, so right here there's a point at 2, 4. And right here there's a point at 8, 12. Could I go find slope? You see, they already drew the line for you. You don't have to go find that. So 12 minus 4 over 8 minus 2 is 4, right? What? Yeah, I was right. My brain went 4/3. And I mean, the only answer choice that had a slope of 4/3 is G. Okay, number 5, what is the best prediction of y when x is 100? You take that equation and plug in 100 for what? So you would do 4/3 times 100 plus 4/3. And you would have gotten A. Oh, hold on. All right, number 6. Number 6, which equation is the best model for the table? Somebody tell me what I should do. Go. I could go to y equals, and I could type in each of these and see which one matched the table. What's another way I could go? Stat. I think that's the way I did it. So I went to stat, edit. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20, 100, 510, 2490, 12, 5, 10. What kind of equations are these? Exponential. So stat, calc, 0, and there's your answer. Okay, my first number is 4, so which answers are closest to it? h and j. And then in the exponential equation do you ever have that negative exponent? No. So the answer was j. Number 7. So far I think they've all been easy. Yes? Number 7, which of the following equations is perpendicular to the y-axis when graphed on a coordinate plane? Okay? I see 2 answers I can mark off right away. B and D. Why would I mark those off? Because if it's perpendicular or parallel to an axis, it will only have x equals a number or y equals a number. If I was to graph that, it's going to have a slope, it's going to have like a rise over run. There's just no way.
You cross out C because you guys.
And it's perpendicular, so I'm going to draw. Here's my y-axis, here's my x-axis. If it's perpendicular to the y-axis, that means it goes through it like that. That's perpendicular, right? So that is a what type of equation?
Y equals.
Because it's passing through the y-axis, it's y equals. All right, number 8, which shows the equation of the line with a slope of -3 that passes through that point. What form are these in? Point slope. So if you forgot point slope, it's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And I let you guys use your notes. Let's straight in your notes. I even said use your notes, didn't I? Okay. All right. So here is x1 and y1. So y minus -5 equals my slope, which is -3, x minus 2. What happens when I have 2 negatives? Yep, so y plus 5, so those are out, and then x minus 2. Are we okay? Number 9, Mrs. Kelly has $20 to spend on juice for the class picnic. Orange juice costs $3 per carton, and apple juice costs $2 per carton. Now, look at the answer choices. What form are they in? But the way that they worded this problem is not slope-intercept. What way did they word this problem? Standard. How do you know that? Because they're telling you 2 different variables, x and y. Okay? So I wrote it in standard first. All right, it says that y is apple juice and x is orange juice. So how much for orange juice? 3, so 3x plus how much for apple juice? And how much money does she have total? And it says she has that to spend. Just less than? If I have a 20 to spend, I can spend 20, or I can spend less than that. Then all you had to do was rearrange your equation. So I have 2y is less than or equal to -3x plus 20, then divide everything by 2. Should I flip my sign? No. So y is less than or equal to -3/2 plus 10. Y'all better make sure you're correcting if you got them wrong. All right, number 10. This one was too easy.
I got it wrong. It's like I didn't see it.
I don't know how. Okay, number 10. I don't know how to say this person's name. They have 180 in their savings account. They plan to deposit 15 per week. This is literally 7th grade. Y equals mx plus b. How much was their starting point? So y equals mx plus b. They had 180. They saved 15 per week. Which one says that? They just mixed it up.
J.
No. Not at all.
G.
Anytime they give you a starting point and a rate, slope-intercept form. Okay? Number 11, which of the following is an equation of the line that is parallel? What does parallel mean?
B.
Parallel means same slope. So what was the slope?
B. 2.
The slope was 2. So what answer choices could I mark out?
C and D.
Okay, and how do I know which y-intercept is correct?
Because it starts at
No, how do I know? What do I got to go do? I got to go solve for b. So I do y equals mx plus b. My y is -1. They told me that. My slope is 2. They told me that. And my x is 4. They told me that. So -1 equals 8 plus b. Subtract 8 and you get -9. Number 12, you'll notice some of you have X's and then I marked it out. That's because I disagreed with the correct answer. So I gave you credit for both. So if you picked A or B, or F or G, I gave it to you. Okay, the reason is that the correct answer was F. Now, if you picked H or J, I counted it wrong because that's straight up a negative slope. Okay, but if you were to put all of those coordinates, all those dots into stat, your answer would have been -0.84x plus 56. It'd be really close to that, and so I picked this because it was the closest. But what the book did for the answer choices is they left out the outliers. Y'all remember what an outlier is? So like this is an outlier because it's not close to the trend line. These are kind of outliers. They left it out, and they got this as their slope. So I counted either one right. I know, and then I gave you credit back in your thing. Because I graded yours first.
I guess. And it was like negative, so I was like,
How would you guess, though, when your calculator does it? Okay, number 13. It did make me mad. Look how much work I did on that one.
yeah, see.
Okay, number 13 we skipped. I took either F or G. The correct answer was -2. So according to the textbook. No. I'm on. That's what I just said.
13 is C.
I didn't either. Okay, number 14, which represents the nth term of this arithmetic sequence. They told you it's arithmetic. And so I noticed that they were adding what? They were adding 4. And so I said the starting number was 22 plus n minus 1 times the common difference, which was 4. So which answer choice says that? Okay, but you had to know the formula. Or you could go try these formulas out and see which one gave that to you if you forgot how to write the formula. Which of the following is the equation of a line that is perpendicular? So what does perpendicular mean? Opposite reciprocal slope. So where's the slope in this equation? Negative. What'd you say? -3, and I needed an opposite reciprocal. So that means +1/3. So these two are out. Okay, then I have to solve for b by plugging into y equals mx plus b. So that's my x, that's my y, that's my m. So 4 equals 1/3 times -6 plus b. So 4 equals, that's -6, that's -2, and then plus 2 is 6. Y'all should be getting really good at those. Okay, number 16. Wanted you to make a prediction, and so I just used the graph. Could you go put those in stat and edit it and do all that and use your equation to make a prediction? But guys, if it falls on the graph and you can clearly see the answer, then don't waste your time. It said 6 hats, and 6 hats is right here, and so my dot would pretty much go somewhere in there. And so I noticed that it was around 40. Now, if you don't feel confident with your answer, then go do your stat and put all those dots in. Okay, the next question. Told you it was arithmetic. It says that the first term is 6. Then it gave you the recursive formula. So right here, they gave you the formula. They said, what is the 5th term? So if the first term was 6, could I write a real formula, not the recursive? So my actual formula is this, right? So my first term was what? Okay, then n minus 1. And what was the common difference? 8. They told me that. So this is a sub. See how it's not at the top? This is a recursive formula, and y'all have to remember that in the recursive formula, that the number they give you right here is the common difference. The recursive formula doesn't include the first term.
Oh, I thought that 6 was...
Yeah, that one could be confusing. I hate the recursive formulas. So,
17 is what?
well, I'm still solving it. I haven't even finished reading it. It says, what is the 5th term? So what should you have plugged in for n? Okay, so I'm putting it in my calculator. $38. It's those recursive formulas will get you, because you want to follow just the recursive formula, but it, huh?
I got 46.
Because y'all followed the recursive and you didn't make it into the explicit formula. I don't, it's wrong. 38. Shh, I want a real question.
How come you don't, how come it doesn't, you said it's a sub?
So do you see how it's at the bottom? It's saying, how do I explain this? The recursive formula isn't the formula you actually follow. It's basically saying to find the term, you take the first term, then do the n minus 1. Basically, the recursive formula is telling you the common difference. Then it gave you the first term. That's why they gave you the first term, because they knew that wasn't enough for you to solve it. We're going to go over it way more. All right, next question, number 18. Which equation models the function? Like, seriously, I pray y'all didn't miss that. You could literally push your y equals button. So I went to y equals. The answer was B, so I typed in 1/2 x. And I went to table to see which table matches. So I went to -8, and -8 was at -4. -4 was at -2. -2 was at -1, and 0 was at 0. Yeah, I mean, you could see it visually too, but not everybody can do that. So this is the, can't fail you. Number 19. Which of the following linear equations has a slope that is undefined? An undefined goes like this. So if you didn't know, then you should have gone and graphed those. Okay? But we know that if it has a slope like this, which axis is it intercepting? And I told y'all if it goes through the x-axis, then that is x equals. So that's your answer. All right. Number 20. What is the slope of the line that passes through that point and is perpendicular? Perpendicular means, but they gave it to me as a decimal. So what did I change that to? Yeah, we need sloped. In order to do opposite reciprocal, we need it as a fraction, right? So you could do it by the way they taught you in 4th grade, which is place value. That's 4 over what? What place is that in? The tens place. Or you could go to your calculator and type in 0.4 and go to math, fraction, enter. Because 4/10 reduces to 2/5. Are y'all good? So it says, what is the slope of the line that passes through and is perpendicular? So that's all you needed to know, is that the slope is 2/5. But can I write 2/5 here? So what would I change my answer back to? So math, decimal, enter. Oh, I didn't flip it. That's the slope of this, but now I need it perpendicular, so opposite reciprocal. Yeah, I was doing parallel. Perpendicular. So negative 2.5. All right, number 21, if you missed it, then you were just being lazy. It's clearly going down, so it's negative. Number 22 is the one I told y'all that they were going to try to trick y'all. I said, read the question. I told y'all. Let's talk about it. It says, what is the slope, and that's where they tried to throw you guys off, of the line that passes through -2, -6, and is parallel to the x-axis? Here's the x-axis. What kind of slope is that? Yeah, that's a 0 slope. So anything that's parallel to that is also, the slope is 0. They tried to get y'all to go do a whole bunch of math for nothing. All you need to know is parallel to the x-axis. Well, the x-axis has a slope of 0. All right, number 23, you shouldn't have missed that question. Basically, as the temperature is increasing, what's happening to the number of salmon?
They're decreasing.
They're decreasing. So the answer was G. Number 24, which of the following is the equation of a line that is perpendicular? Okay, well, what's the slope right here? -1. Don't say the x for slope, just say the number in front of it. So the slope is -1, but I need it to be perpendicular, so I do opposite reciprocal, so +1. And then it made me mad because you had to go rearrange your little equations. So if I rearranged A, it would be y equals 1x plus 7. And I did want to go solve for my B just to make sure I was right. So I did 7 equals 1 times 0 plus B. So that would be B equals 7. Okay, number 25, you probably missed it again if you missed the last one because it's recursive. Okay, so recursive doesn't tell you the first term. Okay, it did tell you it's geometric, and the geometric sequence was A sub 1 times R to the n minus 1. That's the explicit formula, right? So we need our first term. What's our first term? Times our common ratio, and the common ratio is 3 to the n minus 1. So that's the formula you follow. So you take the recursive formula they give you and you make it into an explicit formula that you can use. Okay, so what are we subbing in? 4. So I'm doing 8 times 3 to the 4 minus 1, which was what, 216? Those were hard. Okay, and then the last one says use the exponential curve of best fit to find which of the following is the best prediction for October. Well, guys, literally just go to October, go up and over, and that's your answer. Like, I don't know how people miss that.
Imagine. Who missed it?
Quite a few. Okay, when you're done with corrections, you're going to pass them to your right. Oh, y'all want to see how to do it? Did anybody do it and I put a plus sign and didn't give you your points? I can't remember.